Welcome to the Scratch Golfer's Mindset Podcast, the show committed to helping you dismantle the destructive mindset programs keeping you stuck in the proverbial bunker of poor performance so you can get out of your own way and play to your potential. My name is Paul Salter. I'm a high-performance hypnotherapist and mindset coach with 16 years of experience helping thousands of individuals like you get unstuck. This podcast features a collection of solo episodes, conversations with scratch and plus handicap golfers, and masterclasses with top experts in the performance psychology space. The one goal? To help you make playing to your potential a habit. Have you ever rushed a shot, skipped your pre-shot routine, or felt that overwhelming, nagging need to hurry through a round just to get that shot or that hole over with? Well, my friend, that false sense of urgency might feel productive in the moment. It might even feel efficient and effective. But the truth is, it's actually holding you back and sabotaging your effort and ability to shoot a new lifetime low. And in this episode, we're going to explore one of the most defeating, destructive mindset programs that I personally have struggled with for decades, and I see countless of my clients and peers struggle with as well. This episode is going to kick off one of several episodes where I do a deep dive into some of what I call the most destructive mindset programs that are those automatic programs, patterns, and stories occurring beneath conscious awareness that are ultimately keeping you stuck from experiencing that next level success breakthrough. And today, we're going to kick off our conversation with one, again, I am so personally familiar with. You've heard me share it in multiple episodes before, this compulsion to rush, experiencing this false sense of urgency. And I'm excited to dive in, but I have to first, before we dive in, acknowledge new intro, new cover art, new direction, new framework of the pod in this new year, 2025. And if you have not yet heard or seen, we've got one big, hairy, audacious goal for 2025, to drop the handicap from a 23 to a 5 by the end of the year. And the way that I'm going to approach keeping you updated on my progress is not yet crystal clear. There will be plenty of updates on Instagram in my stories at the Golf Hypnotherapist. And my thought right now is a brief 2 to 3 minute recap of the previous week at the end of an episode. And then at the end of each month, I'll give you more of a big picture reflection on what's going well, where I'm struggling, and what I'm working on. But again, for this episode, we're going to dive right into the meat and potatoes, and then we will save the recap from my last round, my first visit to the country club I joined, for the end of this episode. A destructive mindset program. Let's use a moment here to refresh ourselves. What do I mean when I say destructive mindset program? There exists a collection of stories, beliefs, patterns, fears, emotions, programs, if you will, that occur beneath conscious awareness that exist to satisfy one primary objective: to keep you safe. And these programs are deployed by your subconscious mind anytime you begin to step outside of your comfort zone. These programs are deployed to bring you back down to reality, back within that comfort zone, which can be described as an area or a level of success, even love or money, that is familiar and that is predictable. Because the way we have evolved and the way your subconscious is programmed is operating with this truth that anything beyond your comfort zone that begins to step into an experience that is uncertain, unfamiliar, or novel, your subconscious views that as a threat. It's dangerous. It's a red flag. Multiple alert bells and whistles and alarms go off. So it has several creative, sneaky ways to give you a small temporary taste of that experience just outside your comfort zone before slapping you across the face, knocking you right back down to reality and bringing you back down to your level of comfort and familiarity. And this is why, not just in the game of golf, I see this so much in clients' relationships with finances, relationships with literally relationships, love, marriage. It's that pattern of 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. It's getting so close to your goal and then to inexplicably, irrationally sabotage all of the hard work and effort you've put forth to get that far, to get your ass knocked back down to reality, back down to baseline, and on it goes. And the way that I like to break down a destructive mindset program is they all are rooted, and you're going to see over the course of this year as I highlight more and more, and eventually when I publish my book, which is the goal is by the end of this coming year, you're going to have a very detailed breakdown. But each of these destructive mindset programs follows the same pattern. Despite looking totally different in many cases, they all come back to the same core constituent parts. There is a trigger, and this trigger triggers an emotion. And we can think of emotion as a pre-programmed response, or rather a pre-programmed reaction. Let me repeat that, pre-programmed reaction. And you'll understand more in a minute why I'm so particular in my word choice. Your emotional reservoir resides within your subconscious mind. So we've got trigger, we've got emotion. This emotion begins to permeate into your self-talk, the words you use to talk about and to yourself. Collectively, these words, these mental sentences are really just thoughts. The more time, the more energy, the more emotion you give to selected thoughts, eventually they take hold and form such power they become elevated to beliefs. Your beliefs can be thought of as the lenses through which you view the world. They serve as filters, and they shape what you believe to be true, not only about yourself, what you are worthy, deserving, and capable of, but to also form the lenses and the beliefs through which you see the world, life, and how you perceive others. Are they trusting versus not trusting? Is life fair? Is life unfair? Is the game of golf fair? Is it unfair? And within these beliefs, what gets filtered through them is a collection of behaviors. And you and I both know a behavior done over and over gets upgraded to a habit. It's an efficiency mechanism designed by your brain to expend less energy. And the sum total of your beliefs and behaviors leads to your results. Your results shape your reality and ultimately your identity. It's that simple. So again, it starts with a trigger, and then an emotional energy begins to permeate into your words, your thoughts, your beliefs, your behaviors, your results, your reality, and your identity. And these destructive mindset programs, again, they're designed to keep you safe. And I found that once you understand each destructive mindset program has this same pattern, this same collection of elements, you can then begin to reverse engineer and get back to the origin. Because the best news you've probably heard in these first 10 minutes or so is that these destructive mindset programs and each of their constituent elements are learned, which means they can be unlearned. And as we further explore a variety of destructive mindset programs, destructive or sabotaging archetypes, if you will, my goal is to empower you with the relatability, the education, understanding, and a set of tools to dismantle these destructive mindset programs. And to do so, we need to go to their origin. and uncover when, why, and how you developed these programs, these patterns, these stories, beliefs, and behaviors. Because at the end of the day, they were formed or originated to keep you safe, to ensure one of your likely childhood needs were met, but just basic needs were met. A pattern of behavior developed as a result to get said need met. I'm biased. Hypnosis, in my opinion, the fastest, most effective way to uncover the origin of your sabotaging stories, limiting beliefs, and counterproductive fears. And ultimately, hypnosis will help you uncover and then unlearn those that do not serve you or are outdated. It will help you upgrade the beliefs and behaviors you need to align with the identity of the individual you need to become to achieve that next level success breakthrough. And of course, if this is something you've been on the fence about and you're just picking up what I'm putting down today and you're curious how high performance hypnotherapy and mindset coaching can help you achieve next level success on and beyond the golf course, just check the link below in the show notes. Let's jump on a call. Let's talk more about it. Now that we have a framework and a up-to-date refresher on what a destructive mindset program is, what its purpose is, how it's helping you, let's allow that to be the foundation in which we build off of as we now pivot our discussion to talking about this compulsion to rush through things, this false sense of urgency. And this is one I've shared before. I struggle with a lot. I still remember the first round back in the game of golf. I think it was late April 2024. I literally felt and can see myself in hindsight looking over my shoulder to see if there was a foursome behind us as I was about to tee off. And I got tense. I got tight. Candidly, one of the destructive mindset programs that I've had to dismantle, and it's a work in progress, is caring what other people think under these pressure-filled, and I'm using air quotes, situations. This fear of embarrassment, this fear of judgment comes to the surface and creates an indescribable visceral reaction for me, or at least it did. And in that moment, I still remember the very first hole. It was actually the 10th hole. We started on the back nine, and a group of guys, 70s, maybe even 80s, came up behind my buddy Kevin and I acknowledged them before I hit my tee shot. I think I made contact. I topped the ball. I hit another one and shanked the hell out of that. I was just like so relieved to A, have made contact on the second one, and B, to have gotten it over with so we could hop in the cart and speed out to find where our balls was to create distance from that uncomfortable situation. So signs that you may be feeling stuck with a sabotaging sense of false urgency may look like skipping or rushing your pre-shot routine. It may look and feel like this sense of panic, this sense of wanting to get it over with, even when there's no time pressure. It may feel like constantly checking the pace of play, or if there's the foursome behind you, or getting irritated about the foursome in front of you, instead of focusing on your game and being present with your playing partners and hopefully the beautiful surroundings and weather you have outside in nature. If you find yourself repeatedly stating you just want to get this shot over with, if you find yourself, and this often occurs upon reflection in hindsight, rushing to hit a shot. And just the other day, I chipped one, took a bad bounce over the green, and then I had to pitch under a tree through to get back onto the green. And I fucking hit the branches. So that scattered sideways, and I found myself with an impossible lie that in hindsight, it was right up against the cart path. Like, I'm not playing for money or points or anything. Just fucking move the ball a foot away. And I hit the ball. It smacked into the side of the cart path. And I remember those two shots beneath the tree in the cart path. I was just rushing, trying to get it over with, because I was carrying the emotional residue from the previous poor shot. I did not do a good job emotionally off-gassing, leaning on my breathwork practice. But if you notice this general theme of self-talk or just the overall way you would describe your experience, whether during a hole or a round of just wanting to get it over with, well, that is a gateway. One that which should be opened through a lens of non-judgmental curiosity to explore what's going on. Because this false sense of urgency, this compulsion to need to rush and get things over with, is a destructive mindset program. And there are a few common fears or situations that this theme of rushing is likely protecting you from. First and foremost, and this is one I can relate to, there's this fear of being embarrassed that we are all hardwired to try to avoid. And when you rush, this avoids the vulnerability of slowing down and risking judgment. Your self-talk on this situation might sound like, if I rush and mess up, boom, now I have an excuse. It's because I didn't try hard enough and not because I lack skill. So rushing protects you from being embarrassed and it gives you an excuse. Hey, let's cut through the bullshit. You know what to do to improve your game. You don't have an information problem. You have a mindset problem. Specifically, a collection of outdated fears, limiting beliefs, and sabotaging behaviors designed to keep you stuck in a place of familiarity and comfortability. Fortunately for you, these fears, beliefs, and behaviors are all learned, which means they can be unlearned. As a high-performance hypnotherapist and mindset coach with 16 years of experience helping people just like you get unstuck and unlock their potential, I use hypnosis to help unlearn the fears, beliefs, and behaviors keeping you stuck so you can get out of your own way and make playing to your potential a habit. If you're serious about taking your game to the next level, mindset coaching will help accelerate the process and upgrade your results. Click the link in the show notes below to schedule a mindset coaching discovery call with me today. On the same note there, similar yet maybe slightly different is this fear of being judged. And again, when you rush through, you get to avoid or escape any potential opportunity in which you may be scrutinized or judged by your playing partners. And this protects your ego by not giving others time to notice or comment on mistakes. And I brought back to a moment this past round, which I'm actually proud of. I was playing with a twosome, a dad and his son, older gentleman. Son was probably around my age. Great guys, really enjoyed playing with them. They were walking, I was riding. So inevitably on some of those long stretches between holes, as I'm getting to know them, I'm still getting acclimated to the course, the people, the club. Is it just ready golf? Or are we playing, you birdied the last hole, you have the honors. So I, in a golf cart, made it to the next hole way before them. And I noticed, I'm so proud of myself, a little voice that said, just hurry up, dude. Just fucking get it over with. Just hit one out there. And instead, this was a good example of what to do. I took 3 deep inhales and I just proceeded to execute my routine. And I, in that moment, stepped into that flow state, that strategic tunnel vision. I hit a beautiful 3-wood about 250 yards out in the middle of the fairway. And as I picked up my tee, I heard 2 people say, nice shot. Turns out my playing partners had already caught up. I was so blinded by what was going on around me, I was focused on that moment. But they were right there the whole time. Had I been distracted, constantly looking over my shoulder, had I just rushed to try to get that shot off before they were in distance to witness my shot, I would have rushed. I would have half-assed my pre-shot routine, and the likelihood of hitting a poor shot would have been exponentially greater. Another reason you may have this predominant theme of a false sense of urgency is, again, it comes back to just being able to make an excuse. Oh, I didn't take my time. That's why I hit it poorly. And really, this is just a surface level piece of bullshit to avoid confronting deeper issues like fear of failure, lack of preparation, or a host of additional mental and emotional blocks you may be experiencing. A false sense of urgency avoids accountability. When you rush, and you're going to see how these are also interconnected. When you rush, you avoid fully committing to a shot. Therefore, you avoid fully taking responsibility for the outcome. And it protects you from disappointment by keeping expectations low. Oh, well, no wonder I didn't hit a great shot. I rushed through it. I didn't even expect to in hindsight because my preparation was poor. I just half-assed my pre-shot routine. And I think underneath it all, rushing just is a coping mechanism. It helps you avoid any feelings of emotional or mental discomfort. Period. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news. You're an emotional being. And if you truly want to break through to the next level, even sniff your potential on or off the golf course, you have got to prioritize cultivating emotional resiliency, a presence practice, and developing a toolkit of strategies to help you manage, first become aware of, and then manage, calibrate, or temper your emotions on the fly. It's absolutely essential. I mean, it's so easy to come back to one of the probably will inevitably will be a cliche example, but how stoic Scotty Scheffler is. The man gets arrested on the third day of a major, goes to jail, gets bailed, comes back, birdies the first hole, and goes on to shoot, I don't recall exactly, 5, maybe 6 shots under par. He could have let his mind, his body, his emotions go wild from A to Z. But he has this emotional discipline, this emotional resiliency. And again, I think I've shared this before. I like to think about it as developing the skill in which you can almost envision seeing a dashboard in front of you with bells, dials, whistles, and you're in charge or able to calibrate, fear, anxiety, confidence, etc., to the specific levels you need them at in real time to help you be in the best physical, mental, and emotional state to play to your potential. Now, it's my hunch many of you listening have resonated with some version of this story. There are moments, and whether maybe it only happens with people you're not accustomed to playing with. It doesn't happen when you play with your usual buddies. Maybe it only happens in tournament situations. But there's this desire to rush, this thread of false urgency that is born out of trying to protect you from judgment, embarrassment. It's used as an excuse to lack accountability to avoid discomfort. So what do we do about it? Well, first and foremost, awareness is a great starting point. And it's this awareness that allows us to then begin taking the most effective action steps. Remember, awareness needs action. So number one, you need to have a grounding practice. One that helps you focus and remain present. And I'm not just talking about a practice on the course, away from the course, part of your daily or weekly routine. Whether you call it meditation, breath work, sitting in silence, maybe there's a yoga practice, a journaling practice. You need something that grounds you. That is a practice in which you literally practice quieting your mind, acknowledging and quickly detaching from the thousands and thousands of thoughts you have. That needs to be your baseline non-negotiable minimum. For me, I have had a practice that has evolved over the years. At this moment in time, it's a 5-day per week commitment to doing a meditation using the Waking Up app. 5 days a week. They're like 8 to 12 minutes. On the course, I am an incredibly strong advocate for breath work. And in this case, and I'll speak from my personal experience, it may or may not be quite similar to yours, but when I am overwhelmed by this false sense of urgency, my breathing is shallow, my chest is tight, I can feel the tension permeating every cell in my body. I'm hurried, I'm tense, and I need to slow down. The way that I find most effective to do that is my breath, but specifically the type of breath that works best for me is an inhale through my nose for 4 seconds and an exhale through my mouth for 8 seconds through pursed lips, maybe with even with a little or a slight audible sigh to that exhale. And this is really particular. In through the nose and slow exhales, slow extended exhales, double the length of the inhale. Those two variables collectively help send signals to your brain. It's safe to slow down. It sends signals to your heart to slow down. It's just a general, hey, everything's good. You can chill the fuck out collective message being sent to your brain, to your nervous system, which can help slow things down. That is something you can do multiple times per round, multiple times per hole, before every shot, after every shot. You can play with it, extend the exhale, different variations, add in pauses, holds, etc. I'm a big fan of breathwork, and I'm going to link below my 5 go-to middle of the round breathwork strategies newsletter, a previous newsletter I wrote. There's step-by-step instructions, videos, etc. to give you more information to start cultivating your own routine. Now, again, taking action. The second one is we can use this newfound awareness to get curious and explore. And some of the questions I like to ask myself and my clients when we're exploring the origin of a destructive mindset program is, how is it helping you? In this case, we know it's protecting you. Then we ask the next question, how is it hurting you? Well, probably pretty obvious. Where else in your life do you notice this pattern? And through your answers to those 3 questions, I would then implore you to start reflecting back on, when is the first time you recall experiencing this feeling or behaving this way? What's so interesting for me in my personal story is there were 2 pivotal moments in my childhood where I was rewarded and incentivized to go fast, to rush. I'll still never forget, 4th grade, 9 years old, we did this annual fundraiser. And if you remember, maybe I'm dating myself, we used to have those math fact sheets where it was like a standard 8.5 by 11 horizontally, or was that landscape facing piece of paper. And there'd be like 25 multiplication problems on the front, 25 on the back, and then addition, subtraction, division, yada, yada. And we had a fundraiser where it was do as many problems as you can in 15 minutes, and people would pledge like a nickel for every correct problem. Well, in 4th grade, I shattered the school and the county record. And then in 5th grade, I shattered my own school, county, and state record. I was incentivized to go fast. Then in 5th grade, I used to play this game. I mean, if you're collecting the theme here of just math and numbers, nerd alert, there was this card game called Challenge 24. And essentially, it's a square card with 4 numbers, and you have to use each number to arrive at the number 24. So let's say, for example, the 4 numbers are 5, 3, 3, 3. 5 times 3 is 15. 3 times 3 is 9. 15 plus 9 is 24. And the way the game was played is you would play with 4 to 6 people. You'd have a proctor. You'd be sitting in a circle at a table. The proctor would place a card down in the middle, and the first person to touch the card had the first opportunity to solve the card. And each card had a different point value assigned to it based on its difficulty. Well, I practiced so much, I essentially memorized the deck. So I would just, as soon as that proctor placed the card down, boom, touch the center, boom, touch the center. I won multiple tournaments. And all I want you to take away from this is, for me, I learned very on, it was good to go fast. It was smart, effective. I got validation. I got approval. I felt prideful and accomplished by going really fast. My parents were proud of me. You know, I won prizes and candy and treats. And this has been a through line throughout my entire adult life into my 30s. Go fast, go fast. It has led to me rushing, not thinking through decisions, making stupid mistakes, embarrassing myself, making poor decisions. On and on it goes. It has hurt me in so many ways. Hey, fellow golfer. I want to take 30 seconds and just remind you how much I appreciate you continuously listening to this show. I sincerely appreciate you listening. I sincerely appreciate you sharing the episodes that resonate most with you, with your fellow golfers, friends, and peers. This goes a long way in helping me to best help you. It gives me the leverage, the opportunity to attract the bigger guests, experts, and players to continuously provide you with a masterclass on in-depth mental and emotional training you need to play to your potential. One other step you can take that goes a long way in helping me best help you is hitting pause right now and leaving a genuine rating and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you're listening to this show. Hit pause, leave that rating, leave a review, and I'll catch you back in the episode. So I've had to do a lot of work, specifically with my mindset coach, to unpack, unravel, dismantle this pattern. All of that to say, there's likely an origin point or two for why you behave this way. And with that said, we then have to paint the desire, the goal, the dream state. How does slowing down benefit you? You know, one of the mantras I tell myself as I'm starting to feel a little tension on the course is slow is smooth, smooth is strong when I'm at the tee box. And it's, taken from the old shooter lingo or cliche, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. When it's, when you're drawing your gun. I did a lot of self-defense training many years ago with handgun training. You're drawing slowly and smoothly. And that's also, that's actually much faster than rushing and likely making a mistake or having your gun jam. So for me on the tee box, when I'm addressing my swing in my mind, it's slow is smooth, smooth is strong. But how does slowing down benefit you? How can you get excited about it? What opportunities does slowing down create for you? There's a lot to chew on to allow yourself to feel. And it's my hope that you'll take action on what it is we've discussed today. You'll identify where and how slowing down is hurting you on and away from the golf course. And you'll get critical in your thinking about how it's helping you, hurting you, where you're noticing, and what you can do to uncover the origin of it, and begin then cultivating a complementary grounding or breathwork practice to help you slow down, which, in a funny roundabout way, will likely speed up the results that you seek. Speaking of results, let's do a quick check-in for my first official round of 2025 last Friday, and the goal is around 65 rounds in the year, so a little more than a round a week, but every Friday at the new course. So third time I've played the course now, and I'll be honest, it's challenging. Tampa Palms Golf and Country Club, beautiful course in just fantastic shape. From my, again, let's be honest, limited, naive experience of playing a diverse collection of golf courses. I primarily play a Muni by my house, which I like for many reasons. The greens at Tampa Palms, vastly superior, significantly faster. The rough, beautiful old Bermuda. I have no experience in Bermuda. Holy fuck. That's been a wake-up call. I've been texting some of my buddies and using the internet to learn little subtle shifts and tips I can take to hit the ball better out of there, aside from the fact of, hey, keep the ball in the fairway and don't fall in there. The course is tight. There are hidden hazards, hidden out of bounds. So it's been a humbling experience, to say the least. As always, I'll lead with what I did well. In a funny way, my scoring was not good, to say the least, during this round. But this is probably the round I struck the ball best, maybe to date. Like, it really was validating for me that the 6 or so weeks off between rounds I took, hitting foam balls into a bed sheet, did something. It paid off. Just the confidence, the composure with my irons. I had some really, really great shots. A lot of them. And a few of them from the Bermuda rough. I didn't have a single, what I would call, shank. I topped one shot, and that was being a little over aggressive. And I know it, slowing down. Hey, there's a through line for us. But that's really big sign of improvement for me, because I know that the foundation of my swing in all aspects and situations is significantly trending in the right direction. And I know where my opportunity lies. I believe I had 3, if not 4 pars that round. I had a stretch where I had a stretch of 4 holes where I went par, par, bogey, par. Then I carded a snowman and then a triple to follow. That's golf. A lot of great ball striking. I'm very encouraged by the trend of my ball striking. I'm encouraged by my consistency off the tee box. I use my 3-wood on every single hole. I have zero confidence in my driver right now, to be frank. This course is a little tighter. There's quite a bit of curvature to many of the holes, or strong dog legs. There's probably 2, maybe 3 holes where, like, if I was feeling confident in my driver, I would have used it. And the reason I lack confidence is I just haven't been able to practice it. And lo and behold, I'm recording this episode on a Monday. I've got a practice session this afternoon. Guess what we're working on? Driver. Things that could have gone better. I played the round at 7:08 a.m. The flags were not in, and there was no light on the putting green before. So I had no warm-up of putting. And my warm-up consisted of hitting foam balls into the blanket at my house before the round, and hitting maybe a dozen or so shots into the net, because the driving range is under construction at the moment. All of that to say, I did not putt well. These greens too. Multiple layers of undulation, slope, this, that, the other. They're fast. It's going to be a wonderful adventure and learning curve for me. I had 38 putts. Not good, to say the least. And like 4 putts above my average from last year. I came in at about a 34 putt per round average at the end of 2024. So a lot of improvement there that will come with A, a proper warm-up, and B, just practice. How about that? I had a lot of spots where, now that I've moved back to the blue tees, I'm not comfortable hitting a 4 or 5 iron yet, just due to lack of practice. I've been hitting my 5-wood well out of the fairway or rough, like after a drive, but my grip has completely come off. It's so slick. I didn't touch that club. I've gotten multiple clubs re-gripped, and it's going to make a huge difference. I have, knock on wood, I've probably done a couple dozen putts from 6 to 10 feet in my garage ever since even getting my putter re-gripped. I have not missed yet. I don't know if that's a good sign or not, but I digress, all jokes aside. So I need to practice with my longer irons. I mean, there's even a thought in my mind, do I need to get a hybrid? We'll see. I'm not making any significant changes till I evaluate my current approach for 90 days with consistent execution. Feeling good. Shot a 103. 9 shots lost to penalty. Probably half of them off the drive, half of them from shots that were, off the not off the tee box, that I was either stuck in the rough or maybe I pushed a couple. I found the water once. So much room for improvement. Like, I've never felt this unique collection of encouragement with a little voice saying, wow, what a shit score. That's below your potential. But I'm so encouraged. Getting back at it again this Friday. I've got a practice round today. This is Monday as I'm recording, and the episode comes out Thursday. I've got a 2-hour lesson on Wednesday. I'm playing Friday. I'm playing in a networking event, Team Scramble, on Saturday. A lot of great golf to come. I've got my marching orders. My practice is in place, and we're ready to rock. So that's where we'll leave this episode. I encourage you to slow down. Maybe listen to it again. Maybe review some of the resources I'll drop in the show notes. And know that I appreciate you so much for listening. And ask that if you find this episode valuable, if you found this show, the variety of guests I've brought on and who have been kind enough to spend an hour or so with us on this show valuable, taking 30 seconds to leave a genuine rating and review is greatly appreciated. Have a fantastic week. Hit them straight, and I'll catch you in the next episode.